So Jake, one of the things that struck me straight away when I saw your appointment was Bolton, Nottingham Forest, Portsmouth, all clubs for your dad.
Yeah.
Was that by design or some coincidence?
Well, coincidence really. I went straight from Bolton after I finished university. Like you said, Dad was there a couple of years, but I went to work in the academy. Dad was with the first team. And that was a good experience. But for me, I worked with the young kids and then I worked up to the 18s. And then Forest, Stuart took the job, Stuart Pearce took the job there, he was manager, and Dad went as assistant. And I went into work with Jimmy Gilligan as assistant on the 23 job. It was a strange one there because they got sacked and I stayed, which was strange at the time because obviously I'd come in with them, but then Dougie Freeman took over and he must have seen something he liked in me, so he kept me on. So it was quite strange with all my dad leaving and Stuart and people I knew and Jimmy. Jimmy stayed actually, me and Jimmy stayed. A really good experience for me because I worked, Dougie had me with the first team as well, so I travelled to all the first team games with Dougie and, well, not with Dougie, with the first team, on the training field with the first team. So that was a great experience for me at a young age because that was, again, probably 3 years ago. And it really helped me in my coaching pathway, in my coaching career. Just being around the first team, taking sessions with the first team, going to first team games of football. The 3 points matter on a Saturday at the end of the day, then you're there, it's win or lose. You get that feeling of, that buzz or that feeling in your stomach when you lose, thinking, oh, you don't get that feeling anywhere else really. I love working in the academies, love working with the young kids, but you don't get that feeling as such. That Saturday feeling come 3 o'clock. So, and then the Portsmouth one, nothing to do with my dad really, no, nothing. Just saw the job advertised, came for an interview, waited a week or two, and then Kenny phoned me and other people above and said, "Would you like to take the job?" Which I jumped at. Actually, I'm from the down south home, I call it. Even though I've got a house in Nottingham now. That's where I grew up as a kid. This is where my first footballing memories. I came when I was 2, 3, 4 years of age, watching my dad play football. So it's really where it's all begun. And then the chance to come and work in the environment in the football club, yeah, I took it with both hands.
Before half-time, Colin Clark set up Steve Wigley.
What memories do you actually have of your dad playing? Because you must have been like 2 or 3.
People ask me that and they say, "Do you really remember?" And I do remember. I don't remember like in detail, but I remember coming down, waiting for my dad after the game in the players' lounge. Then the little things, we always used to go for a meal afterwards with a few of the players at TGI's. I can't remember where, but I asked my mum the other day and she said, yeah, it was TGI. So I remember little things. My first little memories. So yeah, coming down to the ground, which still gets 18,000. It's unbelievable for what they get, the fans, and not a lot's changed at the stadium, which is maybe not a bad thing because that atmosphere is still there. But yeah, I do. Not details, not really fine details, but I remember little aspects of coming down, first footballing memory. So yeah, it's good to be back really.
I suppose you at the time are too young to think, well, one day I'm going to be back here working in my own right.
Yeah, like you say, I wouldn't know what I want to do. I probably didn't. I only knew what football was, but now you think back, you're thinking, day one first football memories. I loved football, and then from where I started as a 3, 4-year-old. Being brought into the football world, now back here, it's a good story, to be fair.
And you've worked with footballers from all levels, from 12 right up, as you intimated there, to the first team. Yeah, so that's been a good. It's been great for my education, my coach education, learning different aspects. Obviously, working with 12, 13, 14-year-olds is a lot different to working with 16, 17, 18-year-olds. And then again, working with 18, 20, 23-year-olds is a lot different to working with first team people who are 30, 32, 33. But the different aspects you have to deal with has been good for me. Obviously, younger ages to deal with parents, and then as they get older, you work with agents as well. So building that football knowledge, those backgrounds, those links, it's been the pathway I've took. I think it's been probably the perfect pathway for me. And then obviously coming into this isn't my first time working in a first team environment, but I'm looking forward to this one probably out of most because I think we've got a great chance of. I know we want to get into that top 6. That's the goal, top 6 if we can, and I think we've got a great chance of doing that, and hopefully into that next league next year. So yeah, I'm really excited about next year. I think it's a great opportunity for everybody at the football club. Is the ambition eventually for you to be a football manager in your own right? Yeah,
one day I'd say that I'd like to do that, but I think for me that's
I wouldn't say a long way away from now. I need to work at bedding myself in as obviously I've been working in the 23s and 18s for a long time, so now the first team coach aspects, but also here I want to be that bridge for the young boys to go into the first team as such. I want to help those young boys because I enjoy getting. It's nothing better than for me, or I should think for the Pompey fans, seeing a local boy on that pitch for a football club. There's nothing better than a boy off the streets coming into the academy, brilliant all the way through up to 23s, and then if you can make that jump 22, 23, it's a big jump. People don't realise how big the jump is from going from 18s football straight into first team level, and if I can help bridge that gap and that journey for those players to get into the first team, nothing makes me more happy, to be fair, getting a local boy into that pitch.
I suppose the prime example is Jose Mourinho, but you're more proof that you don't have to have an illustrious playing career to actually be a good coach.
Yeah, that's like you say. I went through I played at semi-pro level, but then I chose to go to university.
You played for Lymington, yeah?
Yeah, a few other clubs, yeah. But I chose to go to university and do like it's a sports science degree with coaching, so it's a sports coaching science degree. And then, like you say, so I went through that pathway, went into Bolton, worked with the young kids, and then worked my way up. And for me, it has been good. Other people might say differently. Going, obviously, ex-pros have a lot of experience playing the game and then coming into the game. But for me, I felt that me working my way upwards, seeing those different experiences, only helped me really see it. And then now I've been working with the 23s and 18s. I can understand how the younger kids feel, how the coaches working with the younger age groups feel. And hopefully help everybody involved in that process of bringing younger players through to the football club and working with the more senior pros as well.
Yeah. So Kenny Jackett's there, Joe Gallen's there. Where are you in that triangle?
Well, obviously Kenny, Joe, and then me, me and Robbo. Like when I came into the club meeting Kenny emphasised that he wanted me to be that bridge, that next step for those younger players, to try and nurture those younger players, be that person who talks to the young players and helps them make that step into the first team. So that was Kenny, the manager, emphasised that a lot on me, saying, "Work with us, come we want some of these younger players. You don't have to go and spend 2, 3, 4, 5 million. You see the money in football nowadays is getting crazy, and if you can create those players from who are already in your building to play for Portsmouth, brilliant. If you can sell them for money, it also brings income into the football club. So that was emphasised on me. That's a big bit of my role, hopefully, bringing those younger players and helping those younger players, nurture those younger players to make that step up into the first team.
And you work with some illustrious characters, Stuart Pearce, Dougie Freedman, and now Kenny. Yeah,
so to be fair, it started at Bolton. I worked with Sammy Lee. Sammy Lee, obviously, he's a legend at Liverpool. He was very good for my career, just getting the knowledge of Sammy, because he's had some unbelievable experiences in football, winning everything really. And then, like you say, going to Nottingham Forest, working with Stuart Pearce was a big influence. Jimmy Gilligan, who's been in the game, and he's worked with Kenny a lot. Actually, Jimmy has as well. So obviously, my dad was there, and then, like you say, Dougie took me into that first team environment as such even more. So that was a big part, the big step in helping my career. And then coming here, so yeah, I've been lucky. I've been lucky to work with a lot of good people in football, a lot of knowledge, a lot of different aspects of knowledge, plucking it. So I'll just sit and listen. A lot of the time I'll sit and listen in the room and take things in. I might not say a lot at times, but I'll put my opinion across course, but if I'm sitting in a room with those sorts of carriers, I'll sit there and listen to a lot of it and take it all in and absorb things and hopefully take little aspects into my coaching life. Not loads, there might be 1 or 2 little bits that I take in for myself, but that's been a big help. Big help. Growing up through football from a young age, being my dad was at a lot of successful academies and football clubs, bringing a lot of young players through. So almost not realising myself when I used to go in the school holidays and just sit and watch them train. I think I was absorbing things then as well. Not even realising it at times, just being around good players and good young players. So I've had a very good, very good pathway and people to learn off.
And if you take a little bit from Sammy Lee, a little bit more from Stuart Pearce, a little bit more from Kenny, you've got a full football education in your mind.
You'd hope so, because out of those 3, 4, 5 people I mentioned, they've probably won a lot of things in English football. And so hopefully I meet a lot more people throughout the line as well who can help me. I'm always willing to learn.
I'm not a closed book at all. I need to always learn and take things from anybody. So even if it's go and watch a grassroots football on a Sunday morning, and I think I like that from that coach, I'll take it and maybe put it into my coaching brain and my coaching knowledge. So yeah, the people I've been around has been excellent, but almost I'll take things off anybody I see that I like anybody would do in the walk of life. If anybody's walking down the street and they see something they like, they'll take that into their own life, won't they?
And of course, you've also got your dad to take bits from.
Yeah.
What does he do now?
He's the head of coaching at Fulham in the academy. But like you say, he's had some coaching journey, some coaching background. So if there's any problem, all I have to do, like you say, is pick up the phone and ask my dad a question. And obviously, there's nobody I trust more than my dad. So I've had loads of conversations with, like anybody would do with their father. He's been the biggest influence in my life, in my footballing journey so far, and he will continue to be. So like I say, there's no one better for me who's worked through the youth phases as well, and also he's worked in a lot of first team environments and with England under 21s. So yeah, it's not a bad phone call to make if I ever need anything, or just to say when I walk through the door to my mum and dad's house, Dad, what do you think of this, or what do you think of that, or yeah, it's not a bad one to have.